Good evening. Welcome to the Craniotomy Chronicles. Craniotomy Chronicles. Now, I've spoken to many of you on the phone over the past few weeks. And of course, on the massive text bubbles that we've been forming in the messaging thing, which can get confusing, I know, for some people, annoying for some people. But for some people, it's been kind of a nice thing to get together and reconnect and find out what's going on and make new connections and hear new music and all kinds of things. But I'm not here to do music right now. I'm here to provide sort of an update, or maybe, as I say, a chronicle of what's been going on with me. If you're interested, if you haven't heard the story already, then bear with me and have a listen. I'd say approximately a year ago, I started feeling off somehow. I couldn't quite describe it. I didn't know if it was mental, or if it was physical, or psychological, or hormonal, or whatever. I just didn't know. I just wasn't processing things right. Things were somehow off. And there were so many things around my house that I wanted to do, but yet felt powerless to do them. So many things that were bothering me. But yet I felt powerless and unable to basically do much of anything. And I didn't know why. I was very strange. Well, fast forward a little bit to maybe back in, let's say, the early summer, late spring and early summer of 2021. After spending a year and a half or more in this pandemic, which could have had something to do with the way I was feeling. I thought that might be the case at some point, that I was just having some kind of pandemic paranoia, whatever that was going on. But then in August, one day I was using my phone and it kind of just dropped out of my hand. My hand kind of went numb, and one finger developed this terrible itch. And then 2 fingers of my left hand started doing this involuntarily. It only lasted for a few minutes. Then it went away. Hooray! But a couple days later, it came back again. And then after it went away, the first thing I did was try to play my guitar. Didn't work out too well. Not only couldn't I not make my fingers do the right thing, it was as if my brain could not tell my fingers where to go anymore. Very disturbing. You play for almost 60 years and all of a sudden you can't play anymore. Not good. Well, then I started experiencing memory issues. I would come home from someplace and put my wallet down and my keys down, probably in the same place that I've been putting them for years, if not months. But then I would lose them. I would say, where are they? I know I put them right here. And I would go looking all over the house for them. Did I put them in the bedroom? Did I stick them in the top drawer? What did I do with them? And maybe, a half hour later, after looking at various places, I'd come back into the kitchen and sit down in a kitchen chair, and then I'd look over and there was what I was looking for. It was just hidden behind like a little something else that was on so I couldn't quite see it whole. So it didn't even seem to register in my brain, I guess. And then simple tasks, like changing the sheets on my bed, which used to take maybe 10, 15 minutes tops to get them all nice and arranged, nice and tucked in, the fitted sheets and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. It almost took me 2 hours to get it even close to being right. And by that time, I'm drenched in sweat and feeling nauseous. Yeah, Phil, something's wrong. My son Ben came over one day and sat with me for a while and listened to me talk and watched me walk and said, "You're walking slow and you're kind of dragging." Finally, after some time and after talking to one of his good friends who spent a lot of time in emergency rooms, it was decided that that's where I should go, where I did go, and found out after some tests and some scans that I had myself a nice brain tumor. Yep, glioblastoma. Deadly. Forms in the brain, basically stays in the brain. And even if they take most of it out and do chemotherapy and radiation, it still wants to come back and get you. It's very tenacious. Tenacious T. Tumor. I've got the tumor. But when I found out about it, knocked me for a loop. But shortly thereafter, I said, nope. Fight or flight? Fight. Fight, 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 fight. I became a bull in a china shop. I became the buffalo that runs into the storm and not away from the storm. I became Tenacious T. Or Tenacious P, I guess, in my case. Yeah, I was full of piss and vinegar. Asking questions to everybody in the hospital, in the ICU, in the physical therapy departments. Constantly trying to get information out of them. Information that in some cases they just can't provide, or they won't provide, because they can't be sure. But that didn't deter me. After I left the ICU and came home, which was a glorious moment, and found out I could play guitar again, and my skills started getting better, and everything started getting better. I started getting stronger, changing my diet, changing my lifestyle, making major changes to what I was doing. Eating only things that were designed to fight cancer and help blood pressure, antioxidants, anti-inflammatory foods, foods that cancer hates, eliminating the sugar, the salt, all the crap, the processed food. And I was feeling great. And then came time for chemotherapy and radiation. Ooh. Like getting hit in the face with a shovel. Like walking in sand or knee-high snow 24 hours a day. Brain fog, confusion, irritability, being nasty with people who sometimes really deserved it. But still, not me. Not me. But there you have it, I mean. What it does to your brain is just incredible. But I found some ways through it now. I was basing a lot of my home diet on what they were giving me in the hospital, which was, low salt, low sugar, low fat, and no caffeine. But then I did some research, and I found out that coffee is actually good for your brain. And caffeine is not bad for your brain either. The only problem with caffeine in chemotherapy and radiation is caffeine is a diuretic and it robs your system of fluids. So you have to watch it. But see, I drink this concoction of water and ice and lemons and oranges all day. Purified water, by the way, too. And I just pound it down all day. So I make sure I have plenty of fluids in my system. I'm hydrated all day long. So I found out the addition of caffeine was actually not a bad thing for me. It could be a good thing for me. So I said, well, let's try in the evenings after I've finished my dinner and had a day full of wonderful foods and nutrients that I will have some caffeine and I will have some extra strength Tylenol to fight with the pain in my limbs. So maybe I can start playing some guitar again. I tried it the other night and it worked rather well. I noodled around on the guitar and on the 12 string for over an hour without feeling any really pain or fatigue. Because the fatigue with this thing is also just amazing. It's crushing. It's like I say, it's like walking in knee-high snow and all this. Terrible. But for one evening there, for over an hour, I was doing pretty well. And I actually attempted it again tonight so I could have this little discussion with you and tell you what's going on. And I feel pretty good. So this is just volume 1 of the Craniotomy Chronicles. My little update as to how I got here and what's going to happen going forward, which is a few more weeks of radiation, and then that stops. And then my chemotherapy takes a break for a while. And then in about a month or so after that, I go on a different kind of dose of the chemotherapy drugs. No more radiation. I guess until they feel at some point where the tumor starts coming back and they need to do that again, if they ever do. I don't know. I really don't know what the program is from here on in totally. But I think this whole range of treatment that I'm under now is supposed to last pretty much close to a year. I'm not really sure. So maybe they figure I've got that much time. And hopefully longer, because I'm not giving up. I'm fighting. I'm not giving up. I'm going to get back to being the bull in the china shop again. The buffalo. I guarantee it. But for now, I'm going to end this volume 1 of the Chronicles and just tell you there's going to be some music coming up. Hopefully some good music. Hopefully you'll like it. Make a request every now and then if you want. I can't guarantee I'll do it, but I'll try. But I'll also try and do all of your old around the campfire Chester favorites. And come up with some new and different things perhaps as well. So I think the next edition of the Chronicles, Volume 2, will probably be musical again. And I hope you'll enjoy it. So that's the story up to now. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Right? That's how it goes, right? So next time, it'll be now something completely different. Now for something completely different. It's music. So stay tuned for Volume 2. And I'll catch you later.